Hi and welcome to another Junk Journal with me session. I hope you will find lots of inspiration in this episode. Today I'm going to be working on I think 3 different spreads, and I wanted to use some goodies that I had been sent in the mail. What you just saw before, this envelope and this right here, was from my lovely pen pal Emma, and she makes these stickers herself. She has a video on that, and she also sent me this cute charm with these felt balls, and I hope to be adding that to my journal somehow. And I'm gonna link to her channel because she has also a great video up now about showing her craft space, and I think a lot of us enjoy watching those kind of videos, so I will link that. And she has also lots of other great ideas. She would definitely appreciate your love, so check her out. I really enjoy her videos. They're very calming. So here's some other things that I want to try to use in this episode. So this is some mandala letter paper that I made from the mandala I drew in my last video. I will link that down below as well. We did a mandala together. And this is some old wallpaper that I've had for like 20 years. I have no idea where I got it from, and this is like the last piece. So this is gonna be, I thought this would be my final episode in this book, but it looks like there's a few more pages, so there'll be one more and then there'll be a flip through. So I wanted to attach this pocket that she made out of an envelope, and I really love that pocket. And so I'm just using my crocodile to punch in a hole through that page, and I'm going to attach that envelope with a little golden brad. And I'm going to attach it in a way so that you don't really see the back side of the brad because it'll be hidden in the envelope. And so I'm just punching that hole through the envelope as well, and then I'm going to put the brad through the other page and then just close it up from the inside of the envelope. And I did have to bend that left piece down because it was too long, but that was easy enough. Okay, so now I have that pocket attached and I need something to put in it. So I thought I would use one of my very recently made mandala journaling cards, but it was too white for me, so I wanted to quickly coffee stain it, and this is a very quick method. I've shown this before in one of my previous videos. So I'm just using very cheap instant coffee. I do not have any measurements. I'm just putting in about 2 spoons of this coffee, stirring it thoroughly so that it's really dissolved, using a very battered up sponge brush. I'm just going to brush over both sides, and I'm going to very quickly dry it with my heat gun, and then I will have a coffee stained journaling card, and I can just put the rest of that coffee dye in the fridge and use it for other projects. So there you see the comparison, the coffee stained and the white. And I'm just going to ink around those edges quickly with my vintage photo distress oxide. And I wanted to do a prompt, but I'm changing the prompt that I see here. So the prompt was 3 places you would like to see, and I decided to switch that to say 3 courses you would like to take, because you know, we can switch it up how we like. That's what prompts are there for. And so I wrote, 1 is a bookbinding course by Nick the Booksmith, 2 was a hand lettering course, and 3 is a digital patterns for fabrics and paper. They actually had a course in Vienna this week, and I couldn't go because I had other commitments, but I do hope that it will take place again because that's something I really want to do. So next I wanted to use this printed out piece of a letter paper that I also just made with using my mandalas that I didn't do this one in the last video, but I did it right after the video, and then I just played around with it with the editing program and made this letter paper. And I thought I would cut out a strip and make it into a belly band, because why not? Just having fun experimenting with things you can do with mandalas. And so I'm just gonna, after inking it up, I'm just gonna glue that onto a strip of cardstock to give it more body. Just going to try to center that as well as I can, and I'm just going to glue that down on the page on the top and the bottom to form a belly band in which I could put a journaling card. So I'm going to use another one of my Mandala journaling cards. I'm having so much fun using these. And this time I'm going to leave it white. It does have an inked up edge, so that's good enough for me. And I wanted to use one phrase of a children's book. So I had cut these out after watching a video from Natasha from Treasure Books. And I will link that video down below. I've linked it in previous videos. It's really fun. And so I had all of these phrases that inspired me to write. And all of these would have worked really well, but I decided to choose this one. Just watch for the sign. And it was too plain just putting it there like that. So I wanted to have a little cluster there. And I'll be choosing some bits to put in that cluster, including a bird, because the bird was important because what I wanted to write about had to do with some feathers. And so I will be writing about that on the back side, but I just wanted to tell you what I'm writing about. So a few years ago, I was in a unpleasant situation where I really had a very tough decision to make, and that decision would influence the rest of my life. And I just didn't know what to do, which way to go. So I asked for a sign, a very clear sign on what I should do. I've never done this in my life before, but I really didn't know what to do. So that's what I decided to try. And I was asking for this sign on a bus going home. And I was like home half an hour later, and that sign was in my bedroom. It was a black feather of the bird laying on top of my, like where I usually leave my jewelry. And I have no idea how that blackbird feather got there, because the window was, I mean, it was open a little bit, but not so that a bird feather could have gotten in. And so that was very strange. And I knew what the sign was for. And then I found another bird feather when I was telling my BFF on a walk about this incident. And right when I looked down, I was telling her this on the phone, right when I looked down as I was telling the story, another black feather appeared at my feet. And there was a third incident where the black feather appeared at my feet. And the thing is, I didn't listen to that sign, so I took the other route for some reason. And to this day, I'm wondering, what does it mean, or what would have happened if I would have gone with the way that design was telling me. So very, very interesting. So anyway, going back to what I'm doing there, so I wanted to add this charm to my other charms for this book, and I really, really love that you can just add charms. This is following what Johanna Cloth was doing in one of her videos. And I also added one of these postage stamp charms, which is a video that I will also link below. And this is from a channel called, sorry, I just have to look. It's called Shabby Dabby Dooha. And I will, yeah, as I said, I will link it down below. They're really cool. I love how they turned out. They are not difficult to make. It just takes a little bit of time. And in the video, she does it with puzzle pieces, but I just used cardstock, like some cardboard. It was the backside of like a what do you call it, a watercolor paper pad. And yeah, so I love having those, and I had to put one on my journal as well. So go check out that video. It's really cool. And now I wanted to use my wallpaper, so I cut out a piece that would cover this page. And next I wanted to use more of that wallpaper, and I wanted to make a coin pocket. And I don't know why, for some reason I adore making these coin pockets. And I've just made a whole bunch, which I will show you in a minute, using a children's encyclopedia, and I think they're so fun. So here I was just measuring a little more than twice the width of the pocket I wanted to make, and the height I measured to be about maybe an inch taller than the page, than the pocket needed to be, so that I would have enough space to fold in the flaps. So now I'm just folding those up so that I could glue those together in the middle. And then I'm just folding up a flap, what I thought was the bottom, but then I realized the design was upside down, which is really hard to tell with this design. So at the bottom, so this was actually the top side. So the top flap I always make a little bit wider than the bottom flap. And then all I do is I cut away those two outer flaps so that only the middle flap is left, and I cut it a bit diagonally. And then what I also like to do is on the top there where the top flap is, I just like to kind of cut out a little bit there, because it just closes better and it also looks nice. That is optional, but yeah, I like the look of that. So I'm just gonna glue everything together now, after just erasing that pencil mark that was still there. And for this I'm just using some liquid glue because I like this, like it has a narrow nib, so it's easy to work with that, easier for a small surface rather than the glue stick. So I'm going to leave the top flap open so I can actually put something inside. So next, yeah, I wanted to show you some of these envelopes I have just made using that encyclopedia, and I'll show you the encyclopedia after this as well. I just love these so much. I love the quality of the paper. I love these colors, like these muted colors, and of course the motifs of the children's book. A lot of animals and plants, and it was a circus, and you'll see there's some some florals, birds, and there's some fruit here and some vegetables. I think they're so cute. Beautiful florals there, and I love this. Oh my god, there's some hot air balloons. I love these so much. Yeah, and that's the one we just made. So that's the book. That's the children's encyclopedia. It's pretty big. And I'll just let you have a peek inside. I got this from Goodwill not too long ago. So you see, I can still make quite a few of those coin pockets or coin envelopes. So happy. Yeah, but going back to the one we just made, I did think it needed a little bit more decoration, so I wanted to use some of my paper ruffles, which I also made using a tutorial from Natasha from Treasure Book, so I will link that video down below as well. So I decided to go with this blue one, so I'm just cutting off a bit to use on the bottom there. And I also wanted to add some lace underneath there, and I'm just going through some of my lace pieces to see which one I would prefer. I think I go with this one because, yeah, because on the top I think I wanted to put this one, and I thought if I'd have another like another, how would I say that? So the piece on the top was beautiful, and I wanted that to be like a clear focal point, and I didn't want to put too much on the bottom to distract from that, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so I just cut that piece off for the top. Now I'm cutting down that piece for the bottom, and I'm going to cut down that ruffle as well. And I'm just going to glue everything down. I don't know what it is about the combination of lace or fabric and paper. I know I'm not the only one with this obsession, but yeah, I can't explain it. There's something magical about it, I feel. So I'm just going to glue that down, and then I'm going to look for something I could put inside. So I'm going through my medium ephemera drawers, and I come across this one piece that I had recently cut with my die cut machine, just a square scalloped shape, out of a, I don't remember, it must have been some children's book, but I really love that that illustration there of this tea, you know, these tea service, no, you don't say tea service, you say, I don't know what you say. It's this tea set. And so I wanted to find a card that I could glue that onto, and I was looking through my big Project Life cards and trying to see which one would work best with the colors that I had, and I decided to go for this one, and it was just a little bit too wide for the pocket, so I just quickly trimmed that down, and then I rounded the corners again, and then I'm gonna write in that part there that's white, I wrote tea with friends, because of course, because of that image, it was about tea, and it reminded me of drinking tea with friends. And what I wrote is, what a special time to be able to spend an afternoon with true friends while enjoying a cup of tea. This is what I hope to be able to do with my sweet friend Bea one of these days. So Bea wanted to come see me in summer in Vienna. She's one of my friends that I found through Instagram, and we've exchanged some happy mail, and she couldn't come because she had an injured foot, and she was going to come in September, but her foot still isn't well, so she again cannot come. And yeah, she's very sad about it. I'm very sad about it, and so that's why I wanted to write this. So Bea, I will wait for you however long it takes. I want to have coffee with you, and we will make it someday. So please send well wishes to Bea for her to get better soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.